Hi, Miss Amanda. Hello? Miss Amanda. There's a problem with the connection at the school. Miss, you are muted. She's muted because she's trying to enter with her phone because she talks from her phone. Miss Amanda? Miss Amanda? Miss Amanda?
You guys know that when you want to speak, you're supposed to raise your hand, not talk across the session. Okay, I'm still waiting for people to join and then I'll begin and I'll answer your questions. I'm still letting people in from the waiting room. Jamana, what's your question?
Can you let in Farida?
Everybody's in that's in the waiting room, honey. There's no one else in the room. And when people are in the room, it's because their connection is not allowing them to connect. It shows to me that they are spinning in circles. Okay?
Okay.
And I do not have anyone in the waiting room right now. No one.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys. We'll give one more minute for people to join and then we'll get started. We're still missing 10 people. Okay, so we were talking about the flashback, and we were talking about how the text starts about the events that are happening now. It goes back to 4 years ago and then comes back to the events that were happening now. So the events move from the present to the past and then back to the present. Okay, the 4 years ago is our clue that we have a flashback. All right, let's answer the next question. How do you recognize dialogue in the text? How can you tell that there is dialogue in the text? How do we know? Yet, how can we tell that there's dialogue in the text?
Yeah. How do you go to this? Possible
How do you
response.
recognize dialogue?
There are Coltrane, Mary's, and Alexei. Miss.
I'm trying to find where you're reading from, honey. There are, what are you reading? I don't understand what you're answering. I want to know how you can look at our story and tell that there is dialogue. How can you look at the story and tell there's dialogue? What is dialogue first? Who knows what dialogue is? Do you know what dialogue is yet?
What?
Yeah. Can you tell me what dialogue is?
Dialogue.
Okay, let's ask one of your classmates. Let's see. Tahir, what is dialogue?
It is what the characters say in the story.
That's exactly right. It's when the characters speak in the story to each other. Very good. So how can I look at this story and tell that there is dialogue?
We can see uh, we can tell what the characters are doing and saying.
Okay, we can. We can read the story and we can tell what the characters are doing and what they're saying. But if I just look at the story, how can I tell that there is dialogue in my story? What do I see that tells me there is dialogue? Jenna? What do I see in my story, Jenna, that tells me there's dialogue?
People speaking to each other.
Okay, but I can't tell that just by looking that they're speaking to each other. What is there in my story that shows me there is dialogue, Hamza?
Um, when Jane and Alex talked, they made dialogue, and when they were walking down the street, they also made dialogue.
That is correct, but how do we know that? Just by looking at the story.
Because
All right,
it's
one more.
a fiction, and it's about characters.
Okay, I'm looking for something. What am I looking at? What do I see in my paragraph that tells me there is dialogue? Let's try one more answer. Leanne?
By the these two, like they're like the commas up, like
Okay, that's
I don't
exactly right.
know.
Right here. If we look right here where I'm circling on after the word garbage bag parade, a question mark, and behind it are two little marks floating up in the air that look like apostrophes. Those are called quotation marks. Quotation marks. We use quotation marks when we have dialogue, when someone is talking. We use quotation marks to show that someone is talking, okay? So that's how we can just look at our story and tell that there is dialogue. We have here before we, and we have here after parade, okay? All right, so those are quotation marks. All right, so we can, there are quotation marks and Alex said, okay? All right. Let's move on to the next question. Two ways that the characters in the text seem like real people. Tell me two ways that you see in the story that the characters look like real people. Abdurrahman, can you tell me one way that they're like real people?
Yes, because
Okay.
they walk every day from school to home.
Okay, they're walking, right? The fact that they're walking, people walk. So this is one thing that they are walking. Very good, thank you. Mohammed, can you give me another way that they seem like real people?
I have, yes, I know one. They cleaned up their neighborhood, and also Jane was proud of what he did.
That's right. So they cleaned up, which is an action that we do. We clean things, and she felt pride. She felt proud of herself. Very good, Mohammed. Thank you. Ragmini, can you add something that makes the characters seem like real people?
They talk like real people. Samantha?
Yes, honey, I'm listening.
The
I have a bad signal though. It's cutting in and out.
the
Say it
conversation
again for me.
people.
That's exactly right. Very good. That's the perfect answer. They are talking to each other. So this is like real people. We talk to each other in real life. Very good, Ragmini. All right. So they organize a neighborhood cleanup. That's something that kids do in real life, and Jane is proud to receive her award. I love Ragmini's answer that they are talking to each other, because that's something that we do. We walk and we talk, okay? All right, I'll give you a second to write this, and then we'll move on. If you do not finish writing it, don't worry, I will post it for you so that you can write it whenever you have time. But I know some of you have been writing with me, so I'll give you a minute to finish. Okay, let's move on now. We're going to turn to page 112 in the Your Turn practice workbook, page 112, Your Turn. All right, and we're going to discuss the story that we read yesterday. Yes, Lan?
Miss, can you say the page again because your voice was cutting?
I know the signal is weak. It keeps going in, it's going in and out for me too. Page 112.
It's okay. 112.
Okay. Yes, Hamza?
Miss, we did 112.
How did we do 112? I
The
don't think
one,
so. I don't think so, honey.
one-
Check it again. Maybe you wrote it on the wrong page?
I am
Because
on
we
page
haven't done the story for
112.
112. Okay, open your camera and show me, Hamza.
Okay.
Page 112. Yes, Jenna?
Miss, in the Your Turn practice book?
Your turn, yes.
Yeah, we did it. No.
We shouldn't have done it. This is not this. This is the page for our story, 112.
Oh, the topic.
Hamza, open your camera and show me, honey.
I'm open my.
One second, I'm gonna make your screen. 1 second. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna make it bigger so I can see it. 1 second. Okay, you gotta stop moving it. I can't read it. Okay, you guys wrote it on the wrong page. That's supposed to be on page 102. This is the story of Chester. That's the story for the cricket. That's page 102, not 112. So it's in the wrong, you guys wrote it in the wrong page. Go back to 102. Show me 102, Hamza. Let me see page 102, honey.
Yes, I think you.
Ah, you were supposed to draw a line down the middle and write Tucker on one side and Chester on the other. This is the page for the story Chester and Tucker, remember, not 112. Okay, it's no problem. If you put it in, if you use 112 to write both of the points of view from last story, you can draw this box in your notebook, okay? You can draw the chart in your notebook. There are 4 boxes. You can draw it in your notebook, and you can do today's in your notebook, okay? For those people who use 112. But you should not have used 112. It should be clear. That's the story for this week. It should be empty. There should be nothing written in it. Okay, but you can draw the 4 boxes in your notebook. No problem. All right. Okay, Jenna, do you have a question?
Yes, I thought you said page 12. I've been mistaken. Page 112, I didn't do it.
Okay, good. Yes, Melik.
Miss, I didn't do page 102 or 112.
I'm sorry? I can't hear what you're saying.
The last time I didn't write like the point of view or the details in 102 or 112.
Okay, it was posted on Smart School, 102 for you guys to write after the pizza party, remember? So
Oh,
you'll
yes.
need to go back and check, okay?
I was studying, so I didn't write it.
Okay, you can always go back and check and write it, honey, no problem. Okay, Bethel, do you have a question?
Yes, I cannot hear you well because your voice is cutting.
Honey, that's the internet. There's nothing I can do about that. It's going in and out for me as well.
Okay, it's 100. We will open now 112 or 102.
112. 102 should be finished. You should have already done that from the last story. So
Okay.
page 112. All right, so on page 112, we have a chart. Just one second, I'm pulling it up. I'm going to make it with you. Especially for those of you who are going to draw it, I'm going to make it with you on the screen, okay? I'm just waiting for Word to open in the second. For those of you who don't have your book, you also should draw this in your notebook. Make sure that you make arrangements to come to school to get your books, okay? All right, let's see. So we have 4 boxes. All right, we have details at the top. And then we have point of view at the bottom. Okay. All right, so let's discuss the story. Let's discuss the story that we read yesterday. Who can help me and remind me about yesterday's story? Our story is about Marilia, and she's in grade 5. Right, Leanne, you start us off.
Can you say it again because your voice was cutting?
Okay, I'll say it again. I'm asking about the story that we read yesterday. We're going to summarize
Okay,
yesterday's story. Can you help us summarize?
for sure. In the beginning, Marlia is a 5th grader, and there was a field trip. They're going to the nursery, their nursery home, and she didn't want to go to the nursery home because her grandmother died there. So when she goes there, she remembers the bad memories. So she tried 4 ways to not go on the field trip, which is to stay in the school for the library to do some extra work, and eating so much, and eating really a big meal, and drink some hot water, so her temperature was going to be like high.
That's
So when she when she went to the nursery home, she was standing in the back alone, but she was assigned to give someone a card. So she gave it to the
okay.
old
Okay.
grandmother that she was.
Slow down, slow down, slow down, Diane. Diane, whole story. 1 second, okay? All right, so later, and she's going on a field trip to the nursing home, and she tried 4 different ways to get out of going to the nursing home. She tries to talk to the librarian about volunteering, and the librarian says she can come after school. She talks to her teacher about doing an extra project. She tells her she can do it on the weekend. She talks, and she goes home and she overeats, trying to get indigestion so that she can, so she'll be sick and mom won't send her to school. And she also drinks hot water so that it appears she has a temperature. She doesn't want to go to the nurse, okay? None of these things worked for her. She ended up going to the nursing home because her mother had promised in trays of sweets to school, so she had to take them to her teacher. All right, continue. Yusuf, tell us what happens once she gets to the nursing home.
Miss, can you say the question?
Hello, Yusuf. Can you tell us what happens once Marilia gets to the nursing home?
Hello?
I'm wondering if you're talking and I just can't hear you. Hello,
Hello?
Yusuf. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but the voice is cutting.
Go ahead, Yusuf. Can you tell us what happens once Marilia gets to the nursing home? But I can't hear you.
She found,
Okay,
she
down because we
found,
have lots of hands up. You, so I'm going to put your hands down. Yusuf, go ahead, try. Let me see if I can hear you. Hello,
she
Yusuf.
found some,
Okay, Yusuf, I'm sorry, you're cutting out very badly. I don't know if it's just me or if it's you. If you can hear me well, please raise your hand. All right. Thank you, Malik. Thank you, Ragmini. All right, Ragmini, you continue for us if you can hear me. You can continue for us, Ragmini. Tell us what happens when Marilia gets to the nursing home.
She has assigned to give the card to a grandmother called Elenita. So she gives that card to Elenita, and because Elenita is blind, she's frustrated and goes back to her seat. Then Elenita calls her back and asks her to describe the card. Miss Amanda? Miss Amanda?
That's right. What happens? Yes, I'm listening, honey. What happens when Anita is holding the card and Marilia is describing it for her?
She buys 2 cupcakes, coconut cupcakes, and shares one for Marilia and one for Elenita.
Okay, that's right. She has 2 of the sweets, the aguinaldo, the coconut sweets that are given as gifts to the residents of the home. She's only supposed to have 1. So she and Marilia feel like they are getting away with something by Marilia eating it. They're both being mischievous. And she gives 1 to Marilia to eat. What happens after that, Muhammad?
After they eat, the girl gave the card to Marilia and described it for her because she was blind and she can't see the card. So the girl said, "What is the
Okay, this is
purpose of
before.
the card?" This is before.
Yeah, that's before she eats the sweets. After she
Okay.
gives her the sweets, what do? They
After
sit and they
after
talk,
that,
and what does she tell her? What does
yes.
Ella need to tell?
Uh,
I lost you, Muhammad. I can't hear you. The
After
connection's so
that,
bad. I don't know if you're talking and I can't hear you.
hello.
Uh-huh.
Can you hear me well?
I'm listening, honey.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Uh, yes. Okay. Uh, they talked together.
What did Marilia tell, I'm sorry, what did Elenita tell Marilia that she did when she was young?
Oh, yes, I think this is
I'm
it.
sorry, Muhammad, I can't hear you. And I know that you may be talking clearly to others and they can hear you, but I can't hear you. You guys, I'm going to mute. I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, please raise your hand and let me know. I'm going to put all hands. Okay, most of you, great. Okay, I'm going to continue. If those of you who
Yes.
can't hear me, I guess you're just going to have to watch the recording.
Yes, Miss Amanda.
Okay. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to. Okay, sorry, guys. I didn't mean to unmute anybody. I was putting hands down and I am muted by mistake. If you can hear me, please put your hand up. I need to know if you can hear me because I can't hear you guys. You guys are breaking up for me. Okay, great. I'm glad you can hear me. Okay. For some reason, though, I can't hear you guys when you talk. I keep your hands up so that I know you can hear me. That way I'll know who I can call on to answer. All right, so let's talk about these details that we were discussing. Okay, sorry, my mic has cut out 3 times now and it's muting itself. I have no idea what's going on with this connection. Every time I lose it, I break it in connection, it shuts my mic off. Okay, so let's discuss this part of the story. At the end, Elenita and Marilia become friends, and Marilia promises to go back and visit Elenita again. So it's a good story of how Elenita helped Marilia overcome the fact that she was sad and unable to go to the nursing home because they formed a friendship, okay? So we're going to talk about the part of the story when Marilia, at the beginning of the story, she doesn't want to go to the nursing home because of her grandmother, okay? She's upset and she doesn't want to go to the nursing home because it reminds her of when her grandmother passed away. I'm going to list the 3 main details that I want you to consider, and then I want you to think, what is the point of view? What is the point of view of the person that we are talking about and the person who is talking in our story, okay? All right, so first let's list. Yes, Muhammad, I muted you because I could not hear you. And I said to you, I don't know if you're talking or not, but I can't hear you. And so I can't leave the meeting to run if I can't hear what you're saying, okay? All right. So I had no choice but to mute you because I couldn't hear you. Okay. Let's see. Just 1 second. I want to put the details for you, Marilia. This is on page 112 in your book, page 112. All right, so Marilia is sad I'm really sad about going on her Marilia is sad about going on her field trip. Okay, Marilia is sad about going on her field trip. That's the first detail. The second detail is she told her friend Margarita, I don't want to go. Remember when they were talking? And she told her, I don't want to go. Notice the use of the word I in our sentence. The use of the word I. Okay? And Marilia tries 4 ways to get out of going on the field trip. Okay, now, the point of view. What point of view is this story being told from? What point of view is the story being told from? All right, I'm going to call on you. Let's see. Those people who have their hands up, because I know you can hear me. Farida, what point of view is our story being told from? Who is telling our story?
The point of view.
What is the point of view? Who's telling our story?
I don't know this question.
Okay, no problem. You can listen. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'll explain it. No problem. Reem, what point of view is our story being told from? Hello, Reem.
Hello, Mr. Amanda.
Hello, Reem. Hi. Do you know what point of view our story is being told from? Hello, Reem.
Hello, Miss Amanda.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, Reem. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sweetheart, I'm asking you, what point of view is our story being told from?
I don't know.
Okay, that's all right. It's no problem if you don't know. Let's ask somebody else. If you are listening and you can hear me and you don't know the answer to this question, please put your hand down. Okay? All right. Let's see. All right, Hamza, how about you?
Yes.
Hamza, do you know the point of view of our story? Who is telling our story?
The author.
Who is the author? No, not the author. In our story, who is the narrator? The person telling the story in the story.
Marilia.
Who is talking in our story? Marilia, right. That's exactly right. Because Marilia is using first person. She's using the word I. So we have a first person narrator. When she uses the word I, we can tell that Marilia, remember first person narration uses words like I, me, my, mine, okay? And what is the point of view? We said the point of view is how the narrator feels about the story, okay? So feel about our story. What feeling is she portraying here? She's sad about going on her field trip. She doesn't want to go, and she tries 4 ways to get out of going. Okay, what is she feeling? What are her feelings at this point? Adito?
Yes.
Hello, Adito.
Yes.
How is Marilia feeling at this point?
She's feeling sad because her grandmother died in a nursing home.
That's exactly right. Maria is sad because nursing homes remind her of her grandmother. Okay? So she doesn't want to go on the trip, and she's upset about the trip because it reminds her of when her grandma died. Okay. Okay. All right, so this is our recap of the story. Now, we did get to do the grammar lesson that is listed for today because of the problems, the technical problems that we had. So we will do the grammar lesson tomorrow, okay? We will do the grammar lesson that is listed today, tomorrow during class. All right? We have 1 minute left, about a minute and a half. If you have any questions, I'm gonna lower all hands. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand once I tell you. Please wait until I tell you to raise hands because I'm still trying to put them all down. Okay, if anybody has a question, raise your hand, please. Yes, Mohammed.
Miss Amanda, where can I find these videos if I want to recap something from the session?
What video?
On Smart School or on YouTube?
Where do we?
Hello?
Honey, the link on Smart School is for the ones on YouTube. So you can go to our page on Smart School and you will find a link for YouTube, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, honey. Hamza?
Miss, will we have a quiz about this story next week?
Did you check your weekly plan?
No, I'm just asking.
What?
I'm just asking.
Did you check the weekly plan?
No.
I know you are, but I'm telling you where to find your answer.
Okay.
And on yourself, as you go upstairs, you're going to find that the teachers are going to do less and less for you because you're getting older and you have to be more and more responsible. So you need to check your weekly plan to see if there is a quiz or not, okay?
Okay.
Okay, honey.